Good morning. I mean, we are seeing obviously more dispersion with earnings, and I would say maybe compared to Q1, which had a very clear travel and arrive pattern, we are seeing the beats being rewarded, right? So markets has gone up nicely in the last few days with the bulk of the results coming out. So far, in an aggregate way, earnings are coming out much better than expected. So earnings are surprising on the upside, and the market is going up on the back of that. But of course, there is more differentiation, and stocks which are just in line or missing estimates are being punished fairly severely, right? We are seeing that today with Reckitt, for example. But stocks which have done very well over the last few months and are still beating estimate, like LVMH, are performing very well, right? So I think we are seeing a bit more, the classic reality check with earnings after a bit of a wide ride for markets in the last 2 or 3 months, very much focused on macro. But I think the key takeaway on my side so far is that earnings are able to provide some support to the market and support sentiment, even though some of the disappointment are being punished severely.
If I can ask you then a little bit more broadly around the market narrative. Just over a week ago, last Monday, we were sitting here watching markets get absolutely decimated here in Europe and in the U.S., and that seemed to have changed literally overnight, and both U.S. and European stocks rallied over the course of last week. What has changed in the market narrative between last Monday and now that's given investors seeming comfort in putting money back to work?
Well, first I think there was a lack of catalyst, right? And a bit of a news flow vacuum in the past 3 or 4 weeks. So the market was very nervous about macro, about slowing growth, about rising policy uncertainty. But ultimately, there was not much going on in the background. And I think what we've seen in the last 3 or 4 sessions is market focusing back on fundamentals with earnings coming out and basically surprising on the upside and delivering good news. So we are seeing investors focusing back on fundamentals, which are still very supportive for the time being. And at the same time, I think the liquidity factor is still very much at work. And we are seeing, for most of the past 12 months, and again last week, dips buyer coming back. So whenever the market is down 2, 3, 4%, investors don't wait much to buy the dip because they have liquidity, they have dry powder. And I think earnings have been the catalyst for investors to feel a bit more confident on buying this dip once again.